What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline. As always, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and drop a like on this video. I would very much appreciate it. Well, guys, as you can see in front of me here today, I have the Book of Boba Fett 1/6 scale figure by Hot Toys. I am really excited to dive into this one and take a look. Sideshow was actually one of the first ones to put out a notification that this one was releasing, which I thought was really cool. It's always good to see something coming early through Sideshow. But without further ado, guys, let's take a quick look around the packaging here. As you can see, we have a beautiful portrait here of Boba Fett as pictured in the Book of Boba Fett. Getting closer, we do have that beautiful cigar band there looking ever so awesome with Jabba's palace in the background. Of course, that cigar band does wrap around the side. You got a nice portrait of Boba Fett there, and then it wraps around the side here with just the Book of Boba Fett branding with TMS 078. And then at the bottom, we just have our normal Star Wars branding. But now let's take a look underneath this top cover. And underneath that top cover, you're greeted with an absolutely beautiful slipcover. We have the slave one there, and then we have Boba Fett and Cad Bane facing off here, as seen in the TV show. Definitely really excited to get that Cad Bane in my collection because I really want to have these guys facing off. And towards the bottom, of course, we do have our Star Wars branding with the TMS 078 item number, Boba Fett 1/6 scale figure. But what we're going to do now, guys, is take the plastic clamshell out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look at how it arrives to you when it lands on your doorstep. Alright guys, now really quickly, here we have Boba Fett in his clamshell packaging. I did leave the top lid on the table here so you could see all of the accessories laid out in this tray here. I will quickly grab this Boba Fett tray here so you can see everything laid out in there. I'm really excited to take this guy out of the box, and I absolutely love these colors, guys. But let's get right into it. Let's take the accessories and the figure out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look at all of the details. Now, of course, guys, I always like to lay all of the accessories out together in the light box so you can see all of the extras as a group. Now, of course, let's grab each accessory and take a look at each one individually in closer detail. Starting off, guys, we do have our flamethrower effect. As you can see, this is very nicely sculpted. I think it looks really good and very convincing, I might add. And I love that transition between colors that goes towards the tip when you attach it to his gauntlet. Overall, this is really cool looking. Not sure I'll use it, but I might say this is probably one of my favorite flamethrower accessories yet. I think this looks really good. Sticking with the theme of flames, we do have the two jetpack flame effects. If we get up close, you can see these are very nicely detailed. As we rotate it around, you can see all the different little points sticking out there to simulate flames. I think that's really cool. Of course, they do peg in from that peg there into the jetpack, and I will try to remember to show you that later in this video, although a lot of you are probably very familiar with these. Ah, yes, my favorite part of the video. Next, guys, we have our extra hands included with the figure. As you can see, these are very nicely sculpted and painted. I'm happy to say these do look different than the ones included with previous Boba Fett figures. It's nice to see that this Boba Fett armor set is different than the other ones we received from Hot Toys in the past. I will flip one of these over so you can see the inner detail as well. Obviously, this is one of our weapon holding hands here, and again, it's very nicely sculpted. I love that kind of brown simulated leather there on the fingertips. Overall, definitely a really decent assortment of hands. Of course, as always, guys, I think like 8 is bare minimum, including the ones installed on the figure. So this one gets an okay pass from me in terms of the amount of hands included with the figure. And also, I do want to say, guys, I'm also very happy they included 2 hands to put on that gaffy stick because that is very important for this version of Boba Fett. So kudos to Hot Toys for including what they should have with this figure. Next, guys, short and simple. I'll try to get a little bit closer. As you can see, this is the little grappling hook that shoots out of Boba Fett's gauntlet. This does feel like a real metal wire here. They've done this in the past, but definitely cool to see something like this included when Mandalorian armor is involved. Next, we do have Boba Fett's gaffy stick. I want to get a little bit closer up on all these details on the upper part of the gaffy stick. As you can see, this is very nicely sculpted, and I love that paintwork on the upper portion that looks like real wood. I think that's really nicely done. And as you can see, as we rotate this here, you kind of have all of these different designs on the hand wrap as well. I will note the one that came with the other Boba Fett, the Nomad Boba Fett, did have a string on it. This one does not, obviously, because this is from the Book of Boba Fett, so it's a little different. And of course, on the metal portion here, going towards the sharpened point, we have really nice fine weathering I think overall this is a really excellent accessory, and I cannot wait to display this with the figure. And next, guys, before I forget, we do have this piece here to attach the gaffy stick to Boba's body. I don't know if this is exactly where it goes, but I will read the instructions before the end of this video, and I will pose him with the gaffy stick attached to his back. Next, guys, what the actual Hot Toys. I'm getting so tired of these sand footprint bases. I know that we knew that this was coming, but guys, you know, we always have hope that they're going to change it up on us. These bases are so stupid. I hate these footprints. It almost kind of forces you to put the feet in a certain position, or it kind of looks awkward and weird. Of course, we do have a metal nameplate, which looks very nice, but guys, Hot Toys, if you're ever going to listen to this, this is terrible. Please just trash this design completely. I'm getting really tired of this sand base. I know a lot of people are. Get rid of the footprints. If you just got rid of the footprints, hell, even keep this same base, a lot of us would be much happier, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. And guys, also, this base does come with a waist grabber. Of course, always be very careful with these. Don't let it dig into the armor on the tip here. You will ruin your armor. And then I do want to point out, guys, something that I want to be transparent about. This does come with a flight pole, but as you can see, the tip was broken off in the box on mine. Usually this tip is obviously glued on there. You can see the glue residue there, but mine is broken off and it doesn't just click back on, as you can see. So definitely we'll reach out to Sideshow about that one, but I just wanted to be transparent with you guys. But yes, this is the flight pole that is included with the figure. Next, we do have Boba Fett's blaster rifle. Now, guys, I do want to point out, you know, I think I'm going to do a comparison between the Throne Boba and this Boba in this video, but I want to get closer up, because as you can see, the blaster that comes with this version of Boba is different from what we see in the previous iterations of Boba Fett. I do really love that paint work there. I think that looks pretty fantastic, emulating real wood. Of course, getting even closer, we do have some nice weathering detail in there. Just a very good looking blaster, and this overall shape is definitely very iconic for Boba Fett as a character. And next, we do have Boba Fett's blaster pistol, or his sidearm, if you will. If we get close up there, you can see some really nice weathering on the pistol itself. Overall, I have zero complaints about how this is painted, and I do think it looks very good. And finally, the last accessory, last but certainly not least, we do have Boba Fett's jetpack. I will say, guys, I really am digging this green color on Boba Fett's armor in this iteration. I definitely think this looks really nice. It's a nice kind of different shade of green here. And when we compare the two versions of Boba Fett, I'm sure we're going to find a lot of differences here. But again, I just wanted to highlight how cool looking the color scheme is on this jetpack here. I love the details with the hits of gold here and all of the ribbing and everything. I think this looks very nice. Moving around to the back, guys, this is a magnetic jetpack as always, so we will show you that attached to the figure later on in the video. Also, guys, you do have the missile that is included separately in the box. This does just slot into the top here, as you could see, and then we have a completed jetpack, and I think that looks really fantastic. But now, guys, I'm really excited. Let me put all of the accessories to the side, and let's see what we think of the Boba Fett figure from the Book of Boba Fett. Well, damn. Here we are, guys, with the Book of Boba Fett, and I gotta be honest with you, first impressions are very good. Seeing it with all of the plastic and everything taken off, I think this design is absolutely fantastic. I really do want to get close up on this green so you can see how elegant and unique looking this green color is. I think this looks absolutely beautiful, and I really can't stress that enough. As you can see, we have a lot of different mixed media elements going on here, with the leather on the gun belt here, with that really nice kind of faux metal plastic belt buckle there with that brass color. Overall, guys, I think this looks really cool. I love this design, and I'm definitely really excited to finally have this. As you can see as I move it around, we do have a full cloth undersuit, so that's always great to see. The more cloth, the better. The less pleather. We are happy about that as collectors. I know that for sure. As you can see, though, the tailoring is very good. I do love the build on the body that Hot Toys use. I think it's very fitting for this iteration of the character. As we move down, though, guys, as you can see, we do have two hands pre-installed on the figure, and those are both open, relaxed hands, looking awesome as always. I think they always do a great job on the Boba Fett hands. And we do have our rocket gauntlet here, as you can see, looking very good, I might add. And we do have some really nice weathering as you get close up on those gauntlets. Overall, I think they did a great job here. I do love that they used this cloth line running up into the sleeve, as always, for the flamethrower arm. I really think they did a great job on this one thus far. As we move down, though, guys, as you can see, the lower half is very different from that Mando Season 2 version. We have some brown boot covers, which adds a nice bit of color pop to the figure. Now these may look like pleather close up, but believe it or not, these are not pleather. It feels like a soft rubber material to me, which is definitely good to see, because upon originally opening it, I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me that's pleather. I'm happy to say it does not feel like pleather. Moving towards the bottom, guys, there's our tread. Some nice weathering detail, and actually some really nice tread on these boots. It definitely looks really good in my opinion. Moving around to the back though, guys, as you can see, same great weathering, that beautiful green color. I will say it's very unique how this jetpack attaches on. If we move to the side, you can see there are two pegs here. This is magnetic, as I mentioned earlier, but these two pegs do correspond with two slots on the back of the jetpack, so it kind of slots down on those and then magnetizes. I did kind of test fit it before I started this portion of the video, and I'm happy to say it's very easy. So of course I will attach that later in the video. As you can see, the rest of those hoses towards the back here, guys, looking very good. Just overall, guys, really nicely done. This is a cloth material for this skirt here. Lifting up this first layer, you do have an under layer of this like plasticky material, and then as we lift that up, you can see more of that leather drop leg holster from the back there, and the back detail on those boots. Overall, guys, again, I think he looks pretty fantastic in my opinion. Alright, but now let's get into articulation very quickly. As you guys know, the helmet always articulates very easily on these Boba Fett figures. You can really pose it any which way that you want, so definitely no complaints about that. In terms of the shoulder articulation, you can get a full 90. There's a bit of restriction because of that shoulder armor, but not much, honestly. It's really not bad at all. Of course, we will move the arms down so we can move them forward. Of course, do this very slowly and kind of move the material with the arm. It is a bit restricted again because of that shoulder armor, so definitely keep that in mind. But certainly, if you are careful, you can get it to pose pretty easily there. In terms of the elbow articulation, guys, really no restriction there whatsoever. Even with these fabric tubes here, it bends very easily. Of course, it's going to be the same on both sides, so I definitely have no complaints about that. In terms of the abdominal crunch, you actually do get a decent amount considering he has armor on, because the armor does stop a little bit short of that abdomen area. So definitely not bad, better than I would have expected personally. And then in terms of the hip articulation, guys, it is a bit limited due to the pants, but I feel like you could really get it as high as you would want it to, as you could see. Definitely don't have any complaint about the articulation there. Moving down to the knee joint, guys. This is a ratcheted joint, by the way. The upper joints are not ratcheted. This is ratcheted. It's very light. You can't hear. It's a very light ratcheted joint. Not the most spectacular body from Hot Toys, but certainly not a bad body. And then I expect a bit of restriction here. As you can see, some ankle rocking, but very limited there in the foot area. Up and down is not nearly as bad. And then rotation, as you can see, you could rotate this kind of upper cover with the shoe freely as much as you would want. But now, guys, let me go grab the Mandalorian Season 2 Boba Fett, and we'll do a quick comparison of the two figures. Alright, guys, now very quickly I want to do a comparison between the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian Season 2 Boba Fett here on the left. As you can see, if we get a little bit closer, the greens are actually quite different between the two. This is definitely a much lighter colored green here on the right, versus this more of like an army green on the left with the Mando Season 2 one. Moving them to the left, even have a different shade of yellow on the shoulder gauntlets as well. And you can see, we're not going to take a look at the jetpacks quite yet, but you can see also with the jetpacks, we have a lot of different stuff going on there. And also, even on the helmet, look at the back of the Mandalorian Season 2 Boba Fett helmet. You have a completely different green on the back of the helmet there, where it's more uniform on the Book of Boba Fett version. Now looking at the belts, guys, as you can see, the belts are also very different between the two. This one kind of has a bandolier on the front with all of the ammo running across it, whereas this one has a completely different design, more of a streamlined design, and you do have quite a few of those little pouches on the front there. Moving towards the pants, again, you can see the pants are very different as well. You have very baggy, kind of dusty pants, because I had him sitting on the throne, versus the more tighter fit to the body, different padding on the knees and everything. Just overall, very different between the two. You guys saw this version has the skirt, and we'll see that when we flip them around to the back, whereas this one just kind of has these tabards hanging down in the front. Even that drop leg holster, as you can see, is very different as well. Overall, I think there's a lot of different stuff between the two. Looking at the gloves, again, the gloves are similar, but also very different in the same. Taking another look from the side, as you can see, even the gauntlets are different as well. So overall, I think these are very different figures, though they are the same character. Moving towards the bottom, as you can see, we do have those brown boot cuffs on the Book of Boba Fett version, whereas they are all black on the Mando version. Looking at the underside, completely different boots. Overall, guys, having these next to each other, they are much more different than you would think. Looking at it from the back, guys, as you can see, the jetpacks are really very much different. You could see completely different coloring, different sizing, and also a different way of attaching. This one has those pegs on the back. It attaches very easily and very strong on the back, I might add. Getting a better look at the belt from the back. Again, the Book of Boba Fett belt just has a lot more going on. I think it looks more elegant, whereas the one on the Mando Season 2 version is just very plain, very simple. Moving down towards the bottom again, guys, as you can see, there's just tabards hanging down here, whereas you do have a full skirt on the back with the Book of Boba Fett version. But overall, guys, though they are similar, you can see they are very different in a lot of ways. But really quickly, let me grab the two blasters so you can see the difference in the two blaster rifles. Alright, now very quickly, guys, this is the Mando Season 2 blaster rifle, and this is the Book of Boba Fett blaster rifle. And if we get really close up on there, you can see they are very similar, but we have some different stuff going on with each one of them. This one looks more weathered and aged, and we also have kind of a dark walnut colored stock versus a light brown stock on the top one. Overall, similar, but painted very differently. So I think that is very cool. But now, guys, let's put the Book of Boba Fett Boba in a few poses, and let's close out this video, and I'll share my final thoughts. Well, guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this may actually be one of my favorite Boba Fetts now in my collection. I absolutely love the colors, I absolutely love the presence that it conveys, and I think this is going to look very, very good with that Cad Bane from the Book of Boba Fett. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm very happy with this figure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I very much appreciate it. Take care, and I'm out.